Last point we look at is the difference between a caller who calls to Allah and a caller who calls to something else. This point of benefit was taken from Shaykh Muhammad ibn Salih's Al-Uthaymeen explanation for Kitab At-Tawheed. He said the caller to Allah is divided into two categories. One, the caller who calls to Allah. Two, the caller who calls to something else. The caller to Allah is sincere and wants to connect people to Allah, not himself. He wants to connect people to Allah. The caller to something else sometimes calls to himself. He calls to the truth in order to gain status and honor among people. You find the caller to himself angry when the people don't do what he wants them to do. And when the people commit a great sin, he isn't angry. At the same time, he doesn't prevent them either. Sometimes a caller to other than Allah, my brothers, you will notice he will invite people to his leader, to his Shaykh, and not to Allah. This is witnessed in many lands where misguided scholars are. Scholars for the land and not scholars for the religion. These people call others to the leaders and figureheads. An example of this is when socialism appeared in some of the Arab lands. The ulama of misguidance began to twist the meanings of verses in the Quran and Hadith to support it. There is no proof in Islam to support socialism. These people are callers to other than Allah. The caller to Allah, he sees people turn away from him and he doesn't give up hope and quit calling to Islam. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, carry on with your message. By Allah, Allah allowing one person to be guided through you is better for you than a red camel. This means that helping one man from a Jewish tribe to be guided is better for you than a red camel. When the caller to Allah invites to Islam and isn't answered, he isn't angry because the truth isn't accepted and followed. Not because his call isn't answered. If the caller to Allah is angry because of this, it means that he calls to Allah. When one person answers his call, it's enough. And if no one answered, then he is free from any burden. The Prophet Muhammad said, there is a prophet who had no followers. It is enough for you to call to the truth and warn against falsehood. The caller to Allah must explain to the people what's the truth and what's falsehood. Reason being, if the people remain silent on falsehood and don't explain the truth for a long period of time, the truth will be taken as being false and falsehood will be considered as being the truth. Taken from Al-Mufid ala Kitab At-Tawheed, Volume 1, 129. Wa subhanaka lahum.